Okay, so today we have these two twin portable ACs here in the workshop, and one of them is clean or cleaner, and one of them is dirty. But inside, they're actually both equally dirty. And why I'm saying that is that you are only cleaning what you see on the surface. As you see here, the surface on this one looks much better. You would say this is done. But in reality, you clean probably here with a brush versus this one not clean. You cleaned here behind with a whole assembly with a filter, and you think you are done because, of course, the filters are both easy accessible, and you cleaned under the remote, maybe, and you did not clean here. Perfect. But let me tell you that inside these two ACs, there are other parts that you don't have that easy access. There is the evaporator coils and condenser and all that stuff in this open one that I have already here. This is where your compressor is that puts the gas through these two things. This is the hot one, and this is the cold one. That's where your top, what you would call the top filter or top motor sucks it from, and this is where it exhausts it to, and we'll see that in just a moment. This is the dual. This is a dual hose version that you're seeing right here that expels air from there, and it expels air there and takes in from here, which these other ones don't have that. As you see, it has the hose that goes here, that is to exhaust the air outside, but the air is only sucked in through here. So how do we do that? Well, we have to open it up in order to clean, and you will see yourself how dirty actually they're inside, to the point that they become dangerous. Is this one right here that you never see and you can never clean, is the one that will form almost like a blanket. And at that point, you are beyond just needing to clean. You are at the point that it actually becomes a fire hazard. And without wasting any more time, we're going to open this one that looks kind of clean in surface at least, but inside is absolutely not clean. So we'll put the camera on some kind of tripod so you can see it. Make sure, absolutely make sure you have it unplugged from the wall. So until you can touch this cord with your own hands, do not put a screwdriver at all. These things can get dangerous. So make sure this is fully unplugged. And to discharge it, just to make sure, try pressing the button here, just to make sure there's no residual energy in it. And then let's get to opening it, and we'll show you what's actually inside, the real inside. So what you need to have handy here is either one of these very long screwdrivers. Most of them are with Phillips, or a power drill. I suggest you go with a hand screwdriver, but I've opened so many of these, so I know which points I can actually do with a tool and which I cannot do. So let's get into cracking it open, and you will see together with me that it actually is quite bad. So you'll have a few screws that you have to go through first. You have one here, one here, one here. You have to take this cap off. There's a screw under there. There's a screw down here, one there. This is for the water plug, and that is pretty much the screws on this model, at least. Your model may vary. The other one that's open right there had just a few more screws, but you basically see which one holds the shell itself. You don't need to undo the screws inside yet, unless you know what you're doing. So let's take these screws off, but first let me unplug that drain and see how much water we have accumulated on it. And since the profile is very low on these things, I'll just throw a towel. Yes, it will be washed again, so I'll just throw it as good as I can, like that. Unscrew the cap, and it has a little rubber in here, and there's some water. It shouldn't be much. And let me show you that there's actually some dirt on that water real quick. I don't know if you can see it, but there is actual dirt that came out, some kind of junk that came out of that water. And if you want to make sure you took all the water out, tilt it just a little bit backwards. As you see, there's quite a lot of water. And now all the water, I think, is kind of gone at this point, so we should be safe to go. Yep, the water is gone. They don't hold a lot because they reuse the water, these at least these versions. So let's get going. Okay, so now that most of the water is gone, we will start taking it apart. And of course, I almost forgot they had to hide a screw right here because they thought we're all babies and we don't know what we're doing. Yeah, these companies are kind of getting a little bit out of hand with that. Somehow they think that they should tell us what to do when it's time to maintain these things. And that's a little bit wrong in my book, but I don't know. And just be careful here on the side. There will be a temperature sensor. It's right here. You can remove it if you want to. I'm not going to because I have plenty of space to work with. And now let me show you the horror part of it. Is you haven't seen anything yet where the blanket is. So yeah, look at the amount of dust right there, as you see. But look at this one. Let me get a light so you guys can see better. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That is a freaking blanket. You see right there? That's a full blanket. Really, really bad. And if you don't take that down, it will come to a point that it's not gonna work. Efficiency obviously will go down. That's a given. But it becomes a fire hazard. That's a big, big problem. That's the biggest problem, actually. So yeah, and make sure you check through here inside. Just usually here is where it takes the air out, so it's not that bad, except for a little bit of, shaking down that dust and all that. And as I showed you, the motors in all of them are kind of the same. The electronics board is built the same. Look at the upper motor that I just showed you there. And so they are built the same. Even though they're two different companies, they're basically the same thing. There's not real differences. So now we're going to go ahead, clean that up and patch it up. But that is what I really wanted to show you on this video. More than anything else, it's that blanket right there. Let me see if I can move some of it by hand just to show you. Yep. Wow. Wow. Okay. Yeah. That's literally covering the whole coils. Yep. We have to take that out really quick. So grab yourself either a brush like this one or a toothbrush or whatever you can find handy to do this job. Here we go. Or one of these. And the only motion you can do here is up to down or down to up, but I highly suggest from up to down, because if you go against the fins, you will destroy them forever. There are ways to restore them, but you don't need to go there. Let's do that and see how much of that blanket right there we can take out. Here's some of it, just in case you think I was joking. I would highly suggest you have some kind of vacuum cleaner handy to take it all out, as you see right here. That's parts of that blanket coming off. This is not a joke. This can get really dangerous. Yeah, that's why you always have to maintain these. At least once time a year or once a year, you have to do this one if you want these to actually work and not cause any, God forbid, fires. So this one is actually that bad that I'm going to take the front panel off too. And here's in the floor. That's just some of the lint and dust that was taken from inside there. And let me show you now how it looks. This is where the blanket was. It's not perfect because it had started almost rotting right there, as you see. But at least the air can now pass through. Let me just show you here. Yep, now the air can pass through. I would say on the back, that's where it actually sucks the air in. I would highly suggest to put on the outside some kind of window screen, the ones that you put for mosquitoes or whatever, on the outside, as long as it doesn't restrict the air too much. So instead of having all this work every year, you can take the window screen, clean it, and put it back in. That would be a solution I would highly suggest with these. But anyway, the screws, I took one here, one there, one right here, and one in the bottom, and the same for the other side. Is I'm going to take the front off too and clean that too because it doesn't look much better on the front. Okay, so after you pull it from the bottom a little bit, make sure you don't snatch these wires that are all over here. I'm going to put them on the side so you can have it ready for cleaning. So yeah, Now those coils look pretty good, as you see right there. And I don't see anything else that bad in that section, but this one here now is quite bad. I'll show you how and why I say that. This is what you're looking at. Yep. That's as bad as it gets. And this is what's going inside your room. Boom. Even the fins inside that I showed you, this guy right there, that's what's inside all of them. So, yeah, we'll take that out and clean that too. Unfortunately, we have to do it. And this one comes just like that. It has two kind of ear clips on the sides, just to take it out of there and put it somewhere on the side. Then this, I'm not sure if we're gonna take it off. I don't know, because I don't want to take the whole assembly, but I think at some point I might have to. I have no choice. So this here is in two parts usually. We might have to take the screws here and these here. This should then come off and see what we can do about it. And here's your wire for the temperature here. I'm just gonna leave that part alone, lean it on something. I'm not gonna take it the whole thing apart. All I need is this fan here, and I need to go wash it. There's a screw that goes through it here that we will take out really quick. Let it fall there so you can take it out later. There's rubbers on both sides, so and it comes off. Watch out, don't lose this screw. They're built pretty much the same as the other one. I'm gonna wash this really quick because, as you see, it is not really the best. And I'll have to clean this part right here. That's the motor that I showed you in the very beginning of the video, as you see. And the coils inside, of course, are going to be clean here because it sucks the air from this side and not this side. So we'll just do what we have to do. Yep. That's a lot of dirt. We're going to make sure every single thing is clean before we put it back together. I'll go wash this real quick and come back. Yes, this is rubber here on this side, and on the other side there's rubber around that ring to make sure that the vibrations are minimized. And there's the motor shaft right here. It spins really freely. This has to spin freely and really good. This is the motor itself. It's 120 volts, 0.44 amps, 20 watts. That's actually quite low. And here are the speeds. The red wire is high speed, the orange wire is medium, and the teal is low. And yes, if when it goes through the 250 farad resist capacitors, just like we have right here, let me show you what that means. They go through this guy right here. This is the turbine one, but they're basically similar, except for two windings less on this one. And this is the capacitor that they go through. And then you have the common or neutral and the live. Now this other one, instead of having just one live, has three lives. Yay, like a cat. Right here. So these go to the capacitor, and these are all the lives. There's 1, 2, and 3, and the blue here remains neutral as well. So this goes neutral, and these other ones are speeds 1, 2, and 3. Yep, pretty actually simple. When you think about it, the whole build, it takes time now, of course, to undo it and clean it and take apart and do necessary repairs on them. But when you think about it, they're actually really easy to work on. I was surprised how easy it is to work on them. So stay tuned. I'm gonna wash what's needed to wash and come back here and show you the whole thing cleaned up. Okay, so now we're at the point that we have to put it back together. And as you see, yep, I cleaned this part, I cleaned inside here, and we just have to start plugging things back in how they were before. And let's start from the beginning, I guess. This one goes right here if we can put it back in. Make sure you don't forget this screw here that holds the shaft. That's quite an important screw. Okay, so the shaft is in place. Now, in the other side, we have this thing right here. It's a piece of rubber, and it goes on this side. So it kind of dampens the noise and all that good stuff, and it is ready to rock. And we have the top part here that goes on. Don't forget to put it the way it's supposed to. Remember, there's a screw here with a motor. We'll place that in real quick. Okay. And don't forget this top part that has these two ear clips on the sides. Goes back in just like this. This is probably the easiest part here. And just in reverse, put all the screws back in how we had them before. That's pretty much all it takes. Don't forget this wash plate right here. Remember, we had these wires that in a weird way had to go around this neck. I don't know why they decided to do it that way, but they had to, looks like. And we have to slide this stuff back in where it was very slowly by lifting this one up and making sure the rails are both in place. Okay, at this point, it is properly clean, and we'll plug it and see what happens. I don't have the exhaust pipe plugged in, so I'm not going to leave it too long. But, okay, the numbers came on. Let me just show you. Okay, the camera makes it look like that, but it's not vibrating in real life. 75. Oh, yeah. It is pure fresh air and really, really nice. It kicked in right away and it's ready to go. Now I just have its twin to go through, clean that one up properly, and throw them back to their workplaces. This is perfect. Let me turn it off before it throws more heat than cold for me. Is the exhaust is not connected. I'll put the filter on and we are ready to go. So yeah, it's beyond just the efficiency to clean these. It's actually that you run the risk of having a fire. So please take your time and clean them. And yeah, it will save you money on the electric bill as well. That goes without saying, obviously. And if you're unable to do it yourself, I don't think it's too expensive actually. Sometimes the HVAC guys will do it for you. Just give them a call, tell them you have one or two or whatever you have, portable ACs, and tell them it works, but I would like to clean it because it has not been cleaned in a year or two or more. And they'll come out when they have their time, clean it up, just exactly what I did here, probably even better, and you'll have an AC that actually works. As you saw, it was really bad. So now I have to go through this other one here. As you see, looks really ugly and dirty versus this one that looks almost brand new at this point. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. Please leave comments and likes and all that good stuff below, and we'll see you next time. Bye!